What's up, Brew Crew? Opie here. Welcome back to my Brew City Garden. So it's no secret that I really love straw bale gardening, and the majority of my gardening style here at the Brew City Garden does involve straw bales or straw of some sort. So who came up with straw bale gardening? I mean, whose idea was this? We're going to talk about that right now. All right, so there's no doubt when somebody mentions straw bale gardening, the first name that comes to mind has got to be the godfather of straw bale gardening, and that's Joel Karsten. Joel's name is absolutely 100% associated with the straw bale gardening technique, and for good reason. So I hear a lot of people out there criticizing Joel, saying that farmers and gardeners have been using straw to garden for forever. Which might be true, yeah, absolutely. But Joel Karsten is the first person to compile all the information and publish a book and get that information out and readily available to the public. So where before it was just this small little niche thing that one farmer in 1,000 was doing, now this is becoming a really mainstream thing, especially since Joel released his best-selling, award-winning book Straw Bale Gardens, and that propelled his career. And since then he spent pretty much all of his time also writing, publishing more material, but traveling, giving speeches, giving demonstrations, workshops to help get the word out. There's classes out there now that you can become basically a certified straw bale garden instructor, which I think is really cool. I don't know if I qualify for that, but I don't know, maybe. But you know what? If Joel had never published these books, chances are I would never have heard of straw bale gardening or even thought it was a thing. And I would have missed out on all this awesome productivity that I'm getting in an area where traditional gardening just doesn't work that well. Now, I do have to make a confession. I've never actually bought one of Joel's books, but since his idea has gone so mainstream, I was able to get online and just pick little pieces of information from here and there and compile it for my own use. And it works well. And what you see on this channel is kind of what I have just kind of gathered from hearing from just several different sources. Now, it's not that I didn't want to buy Joel's books. I would actually love to have the whole collection. And, at first I thought when I started putting these videos out, man, maybe I'm stepping on Joel's toes a little bit here. But once I started looking around and really kind of got to know Joel's ideas and how he operates, I think at this point he's more concerned about getting the word out about straw bale gardening. And he doesn't have to worry about it so much, because no matter where somebody hears about straw bale gardening, whether they're watching the Brew City Garden channel or they hear it from their neighbor down the road, they get interested. And when they get interested, they go home to look it up. They type it on their computer, straw bale gardening on the internet. What's the first thing that pops up? It goes straight back to Joel Karsten anyway. So, with him being the first one to really push this mainstream, his name is synonymous with straw bale gardening, and he'll have that forever. That is Joel's legacy. And you know what? On behalf of all the straw bale gardeners worldwide, I would just like to say, Joel, thank you. Because if you hadn't got this information out, I could have been missing out on probably the greatest garden experience I could have ever imagined. And I really appreciate that. Now, another reason I wanted to put this video out is because Joel did a TED Talk. If you guys are aware of what TED Talks are, there's like these educational, sometimes scientific, speeches that are typically on like talk radio and whatnot, but you can find them online. Just type in, go to YouTube and type in TED Talk. There's like a million topics there, and every one of them are fantastic. They're awesome to watch. Well, Joel got his chance to do his TED Talk, and when I saw it, I was blown away. I have watched this thing dozens and dozens of times because it's so good, and it really shows that the man behind the book is really a decent person. And he's trying to push this idea out to the people that need it the most. And he's actually traveling to countries like Cambodia, out in the country to come up with solutions to help feed these people that are decimated by monsoons every year. And they came up with ideas on how to be more sustainable and even profitable in some of the most uninhabitable conditions there are. So from third world countries to the rural poor, to these urban food deserts, Joel's getting it out there and he's making it happen, and I got to give him props for that. And that is why I would stand behind his books and I'll stand behind his products. In fact, this year I'm still working on it, but I would really like to do a review on his Bale Buster products. He actually has a straw bale conditioning kit for sale on his website and also on Amazon. And it looks really neat, especially for the first-time straw bale gardener. Man, that's got to be the way to go. I mean, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to piece together everything that you need. It all comes in one kit. And there is a conventional fertilizer Bale Buster kit, and there's also an organic Bale Buster kit, which I think is really cool. Sometimes getting the correct organics or finding the organics that you need to get your bales conditions, it can be tough depending on where you live. So to be able to get a kit like that sent straight to your door, man, that would be awesome. And I'd like to thank those who signed up to with my Ebates referral link on the last video, how to get free garden supplies. You know what? I really appreciate that, and that money goes straight back to the Brew City Garden. So I'll put that into projects, and I'll put it towards making quality content that I can share with everybody. So you guys are a part of that, and I really appreciate it. And in an off way, everybody else appreciates that too. Hey, so make sure you check out the link below to go check out that TED Talk. I promise you, it's a great watch, and you might just end up watching it over and over again like I have. And the truth of the matter is, if you really want the definitive guide on straw bale gardening, you gotta go buy Joel's books. They're going to be far better than any other resource that I've found, including my own channel. Make sure you stay tuned to the Brew City Garden channel so that you can watch for yourself just how well and how easy this straw bale gardening thing is. Getting ready to get some bales in for the year. We're going to go through the whole conditioning process and planting all the way through harvest. So we're going to document that again this year, and it's going to be great. You don't want to miss it. And even better yet, go get your own bales and follow along with. There's more to come. All right, guys. We'll see you.